Hey y'all, welcome to Messy Missy Creates. This is Melissa. We're back to do our pick out our papers and our signatures. In the last video we made this cover for my October journal. If you haven't seen that one, it's should be the video previous to this one. And I love the trucks and the pumpkins, and anyway, and then this teal pumpkin fabric and this pumpkin ribbon. And anyway, so now we're going to pick out the stuff that goes in it. And I have been doing, the last couple of months, I've been doing a mixture of scrapbook papers with some junk papers and other papers. And so let's pick out the scrapbook papers first. Let me move them. Okay, I didn't want to poke you in the eye with my papers. So I have a teetotal mess in my craft room, y'all. It's really bad. And it's really, yeah, I tried to give myself some room on my desk right before I started the video. So at least maybe we won't have an avalanche. So I was definitely thinking this one because of the wood grain flowers on this. This side is kind of fall like, I mean, it's not fall really. It's got some of the colors of fall, but it still has a lot of the pink in it. So this is going in the maybe pile. But I do like the other side of it. So this one is in the definite pile. I've been saving this one for October. I have 2 of them. I may use both. No, I have 3. I may save one for, I don't know, we'll see. I'll either use 1 or 2. I may save one for November. Now, I dug through my paper stash, and some of the scrapbook paper you've seen because I just did a haul on some of it, but this is just paperweight, not cardstock. And I was digging through my stash of paper and of loose paper, and I found some of these wood grains that I thought would be good for fall. They do have, they're white on the back. They do have that, so you do have to cover them, but that's not a problem. So I may use 2 of those or 1 of those. I'm going to put those in the use pile. This one is iffy. It definitely had some fall-like colors, and I don't know when else I'm going to use this, to be honest with you. So I think I'm going to put it in the yes pile. This one is, if I use both of the other wood greens, I probably won't use this one. But I'll tell you what, let me switch out. Well, I'm going to put it over here in this pile. I like this one. Yeah, I think I would want it horizontal. It seems like when you fold it, you get the full image of the full sheet of paper just about, instead of doing it long way or vertically. So I have that. This is just some pumpkin paper that I have. I got 2 sheets of it probably to make a cover one time, and I never did. So I'm gonna not use 1 sheet of it. I think I'm gonna put both of these in here. Although if I end up with too much, I can always use 1 of these for November. This one I definitely like, although I would defer this one to November if need be. It's, I don't know if you can see it. It might be making your eyes dizzy. It's browns and gold and red. What is this? Gingham. And then these are the ones that you saw me get at Joann's recently. And these are the ones that I think I'm saving for November or for a later date. So I think I'm not using those. I wasn't sure how they ended up back in my pile. This one I did want to use, and it's a little different because if you can tell the brightness of this one versus the more fall-like qualities of this one. So I think I have 2 of these. I'm going to put that in the yes pile. These are going to go in the wait pile in my November or wait stack. Let me move them to the side. Okay. I had them separated at one time, and then I think I just mixed them all back up again. Okay, these are two-sided cardstocks that I had gotten a long time ago in packets. I forgot what brand they were, but they were one of the scrapbook companies, and I had gotten several packs at a thrift store one time. And these are some that are sort of fall colors. That one is a maybe. They're very thick though. They are definitely thick. They are two-sided. I like that. I like this side. Oh yeah. I do like this one. Okay. It's this one that has a blue side. That's not so much. This one to me is not fall. This one could be because it's kind of that aqua color or turquoise that's in the truck on the front of the cover. So if I need it, I would use one of these. If not, I'm going to probably use these for some kind of tags or ephemera or something like that. So I'm putting that one in the yes pile. Okay, so let's see how many we have. Because I have a feeling we have too many. So out of this, we're going to whittle down and do some definites. Okay, I wish I knew what happened to this other one. I don't know. And I can use more scrapbook paper. I've been doing it half and half, like 8 sheets of scrapbook paper and then 8 sheets of other papers. Let me count, see what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know I'm using this one. These are maybes. I'm just, I've been hoarding these. And for what, I don't know. But I've been hoarding them and I need to use them. At least use one of them. This one I might save for November. Why, you ask? I don't know. This one I'll put in the yes. This one could go in the November pile. Except I'm probably going to have too many in that pile now. I'm really tempted to use both of these. They're lighter weight paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get rid of one of these wood grains. Let me get rid of this one. Okay, so now we have 1, 2. I hope I didn't just make you dizzy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm going to save one of these. And I don't have to use this one. Or maybe I'll use this one and not this one. That's not November, but that's a little brighter of a aqua blue. I think I do want to use the rest of these. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, do we like our choices? And if I really want one of the other ones back in, I can just do one less of the other sheets. But I have some good variety here of weight paper. Like these two are thicker. This one's a little thicker. Is that one gonna matter? I want the stripes horizontally. Yeah, that's not gonna matter too much. This one's not gonna matter. This one's not gonna matter. Okay, 1, 2. I have 3 double-sided cardstock, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single-sided scrapbook paper. Okay, so that's 8, unless we change our mind later. Where to put these now? Let me move my stash here. Okay. I'm looking. I have a feeling that I just found some other, okay, no, this was just what I was using. Okay, good. I was going to say that was left over from what I chose from my August and September journals. I need to put that up before it avalanches. Okay, so now I'm going to set these to the side. And I have one envelope. This is a large envelope folded in half. And I'm going to take, I enjoyed having a little bit of this grid paper in my journal last time. I think I'm going to use 2 sheets. So that's 3 already. And I have this. Let me show you what all I have to choose from. Okay, this I got at a thrift store. And it was candy corn, and so I thought, oh, I must use that for October, so I've been saving it. It is smaller paper. Oh, let me show you this first. I have this paper, which is 9 by 12, which folded in half is the exact paper size of my journal, which is 9 by 6. Well, my journal is 9 by 6.5, but you know what I mean. This is the exact size of the paper I want. So I wanted to use at least this kind of harvest gold color and this teal. So now we're already up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I was going to use, I pulled extra just in case, and I pulled a black just in case I wanted to use that. And I might still, but I'm debating on, because this is 8.5 by 11, which is fine. It's going to make a smaller page, which is okay. However, by the time I fold it in half like this, if I would have put it on the last day of the month, which is Halloween, I'm going to have this on my first day of the month, which I don't want. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it. Yeah, famous last word, right? I'm going to save it. I think I'm going to save it and actually like glue it onto my page. Does that make sense? Or I could just cut the border or something like that. I don't know. What do you think? I'll leave a page out just in case I decide to do that. I've been using some piano paper and Atlas. The Atlas is great because it folds perfectly in half like that. Or this one is already a double sheet, so I can just cut it down if I want, and then that gives me flaps. So I like having the extra big paper. So let me move the rest of this Atlas off of here. And I definitely like, one of these is open, this one, but so is this one. So let's use this one. Uh-oh. This one's not undone. I thought it was. I have a staple remover right here somewhere. Let me see if I can just convince it to come out. Huh. Well, why don't I don't see that one. Oh, okay. I thought this was the whole side of the staple. This is the prong side. There we go. Now we've got it. I thought I had been using that, but it must be this one I have been using. But this one's getting into some really cute pictures on it, and so I want to save, like that one I want to save for Christmas journal. Yeah, some of these are super cute. I mean, this would be fine to use. I mean, chances are I'm going to cover those up anyway. But let me see if this is the same size. Not quite. It's almost... Nope. I'm going to use one of these. Huh. This was Jessica Freeman, February 6, 1991. She completed certificate of promotion. Well, good for her. Good for you, Jessica. I almost want to use these hats for something else, is my hesitant. So let me just take the next page and I'll feel better about it. I think I've been using 2 of these, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. So I have that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I only need 1 more. Let me show you this. This is my Ideals book. Thanksgiving. Oh, you know what? Man, it's like trying to use all your fall stuff all in one month, right? I have next month too. And maybe I'll save some of this for that. I don't want to take one sheet and turn it sideways, because then all these images are going to be sideways. So probably what I would do, these are not going to come out in signatures because they're glued in. Yeah, they're glued in. These are not going to come out in signatures. So what I'll have to do is tear them out and then cut them down and stick them together. So maybe I will save this one for next month. Because this one was iffy. So 1, 2, I have 2 of these, 3, 4, 5, 6. The envelope can be extra, or it can count as my 7th page. This would be 8 if I choose to use it. What I would do is, wait, I have a piece of Halloween paper though that I was thinking about using for the back page, but I don't want it on the front page, I don't think. Let me show you. This one, it's just kind of cute. But again, I don't really want it on the front page. So, what do I do? And I don't want to just put it on there and cover it. So, same with, well, this one I'm not as worried about. So maybe we will use this one. Yeah, it's candy corn season. Let's use it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I also had, where did they go? I had some half sheets that I was going to glue together. It's more scrapbook paper. These are some that I was given in Happy Mail. So I was thinking about taking like this one and maybe these two, or this one and this one. Some that just have a little bit more of a generic background, but still fall related. And put them together. Oop, let me put these up. So this technically still counts as scrapbook paper, but what I'll do is I'll just make the envelope an extra. I also had this book that I didn't get to. There's nothing special about it. It's just a workbook that you can tear pages out of. I wanted to see how big it was though. It's 8.5 by 11 as well. Okay. Which I don't mind having some different sizes. Well, that one wanted to come out, so we're going to put it in the pile for now. And I'm going to stick these together. So these are going to be plain white, which will give me a chance. I'm going to have a lot of plain white pages in this journal, so that'll give me a chance to use some more of the scrapbook paper. Because I'm trying to use down some of my stash. Also realizing that I still have next month, which is fine. And I want to use, let me get my washi. This is my Good Duct Tape brand washi. And yes, I realize that does not match, but it's okay. And I'm just going to tape them together, and this is how you make a page. Do I want to cut them down first? Probably. I was thinking that I would be able to, if I only tape them to like here, I was thinking I'd be able to fold these up and use them as pockets. So let me fold them. I want them to be right at 9 inches tall. I hope you can see all this. I zoomed out my camera a good bit. So that you could see. Wow, that's not working. Okay. I'm trying to fold them up to 9 inches. The ruler on this goes kind of a wonky. I mean, it goes from one starts here, one starts here, one starts here, and it's inches and metric, or inches and centimeters. Let's see, if I do this, no, I don't want that. I can tell you right now I don't want that because it's plain on the other side. So I'm going to trim them, which is fine. And I'm just going to trim off, I'm going to trim them down to 9, which should take off 3 inches. There's 1. And there's 2. Oops. That one buckled a little bit, so it's not going to be straight. And then I'm going to tape them together. I'm going to put these in my box. And I'm going to stick this tape when I get it off or started. I'm going to stick it to the top up here and try to do it, well, relatively straight-ish, sort of, kind of. Well, it's not cut straight either, so that doesn't help. But I want to put these, if you've never done this, you want to leave a little bit of a space, but you don't have to leave much. Well, never mind. It doesn't want to leave a space at all, so stay. Stay, please. I'm going to use this grid right here to see that I'm getting it straight. And then I'm going to move it, bump it accidentally. And my tape is not straight. I can feel it already. But we're going to make it straightish a little bit. And then, yeah, see, it didn't go on straight. So I'm going to cut that. I put all my scissors away. Because if I continue wrapping it around, it's going to end up over here since it's not straight. It started off fairly straight, but it didn't end up that way. And you can tell the little bit of space I left in there. Ooh, I didn't fold the tape over straight either. Wow. I'm just batting 1,000. And then I want to do tape on this side too. And I could have used masking tape. I could have used my fall washi. This kind of is, I consider this to be part of my fall washi a little bit. Even though it's just solid color. Okay, and that folds very nicely. Now you can fold it this way, and of course there is an up, and I didn't pay attention to that, so it's going to go like this. So here's one page. These are going to be easy. It's just a matter of folding them. There's 2. Here's 3. And if you change your mind, you can always fold them like that the other way later as you're putting your signatures together. Here's this one. I'm not going to count it. What am I up to? 3. This one, I'm not going to cut. I think it's the right height. Yes, it's exactly 9 inches. That's why I've been using this one. I want to fold it in a little bit. Maybe about 3 inches. Now you can fold it in a lot, or no. It's got to come in more than, yeah, it's got to come in more than 3 inches. It's got to be 6 wide, not 9 wide. Duh. I was going to say, I remembered the music paper being, I almost have to fold it in completely on itself like that. Yep, that's pretty close. And we'll do the same over here. Like that. Okay, and then now we have this nice little booklet for our signature. And this map, I'm going to cut down because I'm going to keep the signature like this. Now, I could take and cut these apart and use this as 2 different pages. Let me see. Before I cut it, it's 9 wide and 12 tall. So I could very easily fold it like this. Take one of the pages and fold it like this. or I can cut it down by 3 inches and have some flaps. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut the height down to 9. So I don't know, did y'all follow all of that? So if I cut the height down to 9, and then I have this extra piece right here, and then I still have these that I just need to fold in. So I'm kind of just putting them on the 6-inch marker and then just folding a little bit and just kind of doing the same. I know that you can't really see over here to my left, but trust me, it's 6-ish. They're not the same, and that's okay because they're not going to be together in the journal. What else? I have this grid paper and it needs to be cut down. Let me see how much. Might be easier to use. No, it's not. It is 7.5 inches wide. So I want to cut, and I've got 2 pieces here. I think I can cut both of them at the same time. I'm going to cut that down to 6 because that's not going to leave me. If I just fold that, I think I've done that in the past, and it just leaves this little itty bitty fold. But I've used it in the past. I'm just going to cut it. Do I cut it to cut or not to cut? That is the question. Well, I could cut it to, no, I can't cut it to 6.5. Cut it to 6. Yeah, let's just cut it. And then I have these little spots like this. Now this I have to cut down. I know I have to cut down because I need 9 inches tall. So it's just going to cut off this little strip right here. Because comp paper is like 10 by whatever that was, 7 and something. So here's 2 sheets ready to go. And then these I don't have to cut down at all because I already know they're 9 by 12, which folded in half gives me 9 by 6, which is the exact perfect size for my papers in my journal. This, if you're wondering, is that True Ray Pacan. It's construction paper, but it's a little bit smoother than regular construction paper. So I like it better, and it's not as, you know how some of that old construction paper we used to use, if you folded it, it cracked and like tore. This one doesn't. It's a little smoother. It's not great for if you're going to use a lot of marker. And I mean, a paint pen will go over it fine, but I would not use like my good alcohol markers or anything like that on it. Okay, so we have these. These are our non-scrapbook paper. Well, this one's kind of scrapbook, but I'm putting it together. It's scrapbook paper, but I put the 2 of them together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We still have 9. Well, I can take this one out because I don't have to have that. So now we're back to 8, and then an extra 4. And you can have extra. You can use more than one page. Like if you, I've seen Lydia at February and June. She puts extra papers in hers when she knows she's going to have like big days and have a lot of stuff on her days. You know what? As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to leave that in because we do have, at the end of the month, we have a trip to my little piece of paradise on earth. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave the extra piece in. And, you know, you can make a pocket out of it. You can do whatever you want to with it. But now it's time to do scrapbook paper. So, let's cut these down. These don't have a branding strip on them. So it's just cutting them down. So they're 12 by 12. So we're gonna fold them in half. I want them horizontal, so I'm going to cut, like this is the top, this is the bottom. So I'm going to cut 3 inches off the bottom, or cut them to 9 inches for my journal size. What is your preferred journal size? Do you like a larger or smaller journal? I tend to like a larger to medium journal. Okay, I'm going to cut this one down to 9 inches. And I'll fold them all at the same time. That way I don't have to keep moving my paper cutter. 9 inches. And I'm going to have lots of pockets, and I'm going to have lots of scrap paper to make pockets. Now this one, I think I want it folded like that. So I'm going to treat... Yeah, because if not, it's going to look like this. I mean, it doesn't matter either way, but I'm going to treat this as the top and this as the bottom. And I have that scrap. And then this one doesn't matter. Not really. I mean, you might have your little preferred section, but... ultimately, I don't think it matters. But I've had this paper forever, and I just, when I came across it, I thought, you know, that's pretty fall looking. So let's use it. Okay, now I'm into the paper that has to have the branding strip cut off. So let me do that. And I put those in my box too, because these make great little borders. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off, I want them like this, so I'm going to cut off this bottom like that. Okay, I know I treat these as a little more precious than the others. This one is double-sided, and it's not directionally... you know, it doesn't have a specific direction that it has to go. So that one's fine. And then let me count what I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's right. I had already counted those. I forgot. So I hit that right on the money. This is going to make a fabulous, because it's the full width of the strip. That's going to make a wonderful border. And now I want those like this, so I'm just going to keep this on here. The other side does not matter which way it is. So I'm going to cut it like this. And then this is going to make an awesome pocket or whatever. And this is double-sided. So... okay, I think I'm done with the cutter. And now I'm going to fold these. You can score them if you really want. I just don't want to get out my scoreboard. And I think they fold fine. These thicker papers, if you have a little bone folder to score them, or to fold them rather, crease them. That's the word I was looking for. It makes them fit in your journal a little bit better. This one's really stiff. I'm almost regretting putting this one in, but I've committed at this point. And there's no sense in hoarding the paper. I was saving it for fall, and so now it's fall. So, right? I've got to use, I mean, I know that I bought a little bit more to, you know, this month and last month and for November, but really only bought a handful of papers. And the rest I'm using out of my stash. Like these I've had for years and years, all of these. So... if I'd have tried a little harder, I probably could have cut that off. I forgot about it, to be honest with you. It's not that big of a deal. It's easy to cover on your page. You just glue something on top of it, or a journaling spot, or your number or something. And yes, I know these pumpkins are upside down. I'm going to turn them. It's just easier for me to crease it when it's on my right. So, and I love these little patchwork pumpkins. I think they are adorable. I did forget about these papers when I went and bought more papers. So always shop your stash before you shop the store. But in my defense, that day I went to Joann's. Breaking Free Adventures. Oh, this is My Mind's Eye. 2009. Okay. That's going to be hard to cover. But I'll just put a piece of scrapbook paper over it. Like a background or something. I'm probably going to do that anyway because it's a blank, it's a white page. But anyway, in my defense, when I went to Joann's and bought that paper the other day, I was supposed to go to my sister's and shop her stash. And that she ended up canceling on me, so we didn't get to go do that. So, now we have this, and we have this. We have like 1 or 2 extra pages, which is fine. I don't need more than that, I don't think. I can always add in, tip in, whatever. So now what I'm going to do is... So did I not use the... I didn't use the candy corn paper, I guess. What did I do with it? Yeah, I did. It's just folded in on itself like that. Okay. Tempted to have this be my very first sheet, my outside sheet. This is going to be my cover page, though, and that's going to kind of stink. Because honestly, I'm really thinking this one. So let's do, I'm going to do this one and then this one. That looks really good on each other. I'm going to do, I want the pocket in the back. Because that'll be, we're going like the last week of October. That will be our, let me see. So this is going to be an extra page maybe. So I need a scrapbook paper right here. Let's use this one. Yep, that looks good. And then I want to use one of these maybe. I like to spread those around. And then I'm going to be getting to my, yeah, see if that ends up being Halloween. It depends on if I use that extra piece of paper before Halloween. I'll either land on this one or I'll land on that one, which is fine. Either one is fine. So I want, let's do some more pumpkins. I'm tempted to flip this one around, but I don't want the white blank page against this page. So now I have to do, I don't have to, but I would do one of these, maybe. And then maybe this one. And then let's use this one. Oh, there's a lot of blank white in here. I might move this one to a little further in the back, but we'll see. Let's use the music paper. And then let's use this one. And this one. And I've got an extra sheet of this one and this one, one extra piece of this, and I don't want it to land in the center. I want to land this one in the center maybe. Okay, we can rearrange them if we need to. See how much my papers stick out? If I did not allow that extra 1/2 inch on the side, it would not, this is a good 1/2 inch. And as it stands, it's probably going to still stick out a little bit. Not quite, but a little bit. No, it doesn't. But it's close. It's right up to the edge. Especially when you use thick papers and like this envelope. I did not burnish it. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Okay, so let's flip this and see what we think. So this would be the cover. And keeping in mind, this is going to go against here, so I may not like that. Do I like that? Maybe. I like it better than I would like that. Yeah, we'll just leave that right there. I'm not that concerned about that. So this is our cover, and this would be day 1, day 2, maybe 3. And I can cut this open if I want to pocket it on this side too. 4, 5, 6, 7. I like that combination. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oh, lots of plain, 16, 17, 18. This is not my center. That's right. I mean, it is my center, but it's not, I didn't fall on the 16th. What I said, this was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, so I have lots of extra papers in here. Now that gives me the option to use a 2-page, like, let's say I want, it probably will be back here. So let's say this is our trip and I want to take day 20, whatever it is, 25. And I want to use this one and this one for 25, and then 26 and another one. Or I have the option to glue like these two together and make a pocket, that sort of thing. Does that make sense? So it's giving me some extra pages because I know that we have a trip coming up. We're going to be gone, not a full week, but close to it. So now we have to cram all of this in the journal. So I have, and the last time I did binding on camera, it was a total disaster. So it might be again this time. You just never know. I do have a template. If you need to use one, you fold take a piece of paper that's the size of your pages or your journal. You fold it in half, fold it in half, and fold it in half again. And then where you open it up, you take the middle one and you put a little mark there, and then you take your top and bottom creases or cross sections. Oh yeah, you fold it in half, sorry. Lengthways, and then fold, fold, fold. And then where your top creases are and your bottom crease, you make a mark, and then your middle. That's for a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So if you want to do a 5, that's, I mean, this isn't going to be spaced right, but you could still pick 5 of those and it would still work. But not very seldom. I never use a 5. If I had some that I was using, like some little bits, I might. I mean, like you could put like an envelope in here and it would only catch like the bottom one. You know, if you wanted an additional pocket on a certain day or whatever. But most of the time I'll just add my pockets, you know, as I go. Now, I don't necessarily do that. I used to mark them, but more recently, I just eyeball it. I'm going to pack it down in here the best that I can with my ruler. And I just want to make sure that everything is down in there good. And then I do have my little clips. I still haven't found my jumbo paper clips. So I am clipping the pages to the cover. And I'm trying to get all the papers in. Okay. This one looks out of whack a little bit, but okay. This is the mistake I make all the time. So I'm going to tell you not to do it. Don't open it all the way or it's going to spread your papers back out. If you want it open all the way, then open it flat and then make your holes or make your marks or whatever. But this way it keeps that tight in there like that. Oh, I'm not showing you. You want the papers tucked in the best you can into that spine right there. And on the top too. And I do try to get them in the center of the spine, but it's not an exact science. Even if you use your template, you may not poke all the way through evenly. So that's the other thing to do. I use my pokey tool. This is the Tonic Studios Tim Holtz pokey tool. It's retractable, so I like it. I've heard some people say that when they go to push, there's slips. Mine does not. So maybe I've just been lucky. But I'm going to go through like this, and I'm going to watch. Now this is going to be hard because it's a lot of thick papers. So I'm doing that. And then back in. And then I'm going to try to wallow that hole a little bit bigger. Give it back. It didn't want to give it back. So that was kind of in the center. I take my thumb and I put my first knuckle on the edge of the book, and I do about a thumb knuckle length up through there. And then I go to the other side, trying not to open the book all the way, and I do another thumb knuckle length. That's just kind of my guide. You do what works for you, okay? And I do want, nope, see, I still didn't even come in the same hole. There we go. I was just trying to make that hole a little bit bigger so I can hit it. Okay, so with all that said, I should have picked out my embroidery thread first. So let me grab my boxes real quick. Or let me see if we want any of this. No, probably not. I like that, but it's, yeah, boring. I have these boxes right here that I got at a thrift store. And they were all neat and organized just like this when I got them. So I'm looking for an orange. This has potential. It's kind of a burnt orange. Kind of a bronzy orange. That has potential. And then, and I've got to speed up this process here. I just saw how long we've been going. Here's more of a regular orange, like a pumpkin orange. There's not a lot on that one. This is pretty. This is like a ombre. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I kind of like that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm good. It's all good. So let's see. Do we like the orangey better or the... Let's do the orangey. I like this one, matches better, but I want the brighter orange, I think. It's just a little bit brighter. Now let's see if I can find the end of this thing. Yep, it's tucked in there all neat. I don't know what this extra thread is about. I think it's just stuck on there. So you want 3 lengths, or about that. 1, 2, 3 lengths. It's better to have more and not need it than to get, you know, to the end of your binding and you don't have it, or you don't have enough. And I have a needle. I keep it in my little needle thing. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It's that Yarnology. You know, they have that Sewology and all of the ology, whatever. And see if I can thread it through this big old hole. Maybe. There we go. You don't have to tie it off or anything. Just make sure, because I usually start with it with a pretty good long tail, and then I thin it out as I go. But the last thing you want to do is pull it out. Well, that's not the last thing you want to do, but all right. So I try to hold it at the same angle that I used to poke the hole initially, and you try not to move or jostle your papers too much. And with any luck, yes, you're going to come right through those holes. That's the hardest one for me, is starting on the outside. If you want your tails on the outside, you have to start from the outside. If you want your tails on the inside, start from the inside. And you know what I did not think to check, which you should always check, is make sure that your papers are oriented the right way. And I'll be honest with you, I just got lucky. So I did. I just really got lucky. Now I have pushed my journal apart more than I care to. So hopefully it didn't misalign. I think that's the hole. There we go. You'll come in the top or the bottom. I don't think it matters. And now I know that I just pulled it apart and misaligned my papers when I turned it over. Let me get that realigned here. Nope. See, I'm just poking another hole. There we go. Okay. So in through the middle, come back in on the top or bottom, and then go back into, go all the way to the bottom or top, whichever way you didn't start with. Does that make sense? And so you're going the length of the book, and you have your tail sticking out of the middle like that. I need to use some of that tail. I need to pull some more thread through. I'm just giving myself a little more slack. And then you go back in through the middle, and you make sure to go through that same hole without splitting your thread. And you want this thread on the opposite side of your first thread. Okay, now you don't need the needle anymore. So I'm gonna put my needle up. It hasn't been getting gunky since I haven't been using that tape. So, okay, I have about equal, I mean, you can shift them around a little bit if you want. This is where some people don't take their clips off until they're done sewing. No, done tying it off. But I take my clips off now because I want to pull my pages together. It's not going to shift it. You've already got it stitched through everything. I don't want it to hold the pages to the side. I get a tighter signature if I take the clips off, and I pull pretty tight, and then you just tie a knot, and then I tie a bow. If you know fancy knots, tie fancy knots. If you don't, like I do, I don't know fancy knots. I know the tie my shoe kind of knots. I did not do whatever it is that you do that you learn to tie knots. I usually do tie maybe 4 times. I haven't had one ever come apart. And then I do just a little bow. You can add stuff to it. I always say I'm going to, and then I never do. So here we go. We now have a journal. And that didn't, all that no-sew stuff, I mean, that took all of what, 5-8 minutes, something like that. So now we're going to make sure. Now if I had sewn them upside down and I had to take them out, then that would have added more time to it. But I got lucky. But always check before you start sewing to make sure that your top is your top and your bottom is your bottom. And here we go. So this is my journal for October. And I almost wish I had used, it doesn't look like I used as much scrapbook paper because I have white pages. But honestly, some of the scrapbook paper I didn't use, I will be able to come back in and add it to the top. So it's fine. I just don't have a lot of double-sided scrapbook paper. And so I need to use up some of this that is single-sided. And here we go. All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed this. This is the conclusion of this week's Let's Make video. I'd like to do that every week if I can. If you have ideas that you would like to see me make for the next Let's Make, then drop them in the comments. And if you're new, if you're just beginning, I hope this was an easy enough tutorial. I do tend to confuse people sometimes. So my brain thinks faster than, or my mouth speaks faster than my brain, or, you know, whatever. So sometimes I get a little tongue-tied. But I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that if you are new, that you did learn something, or that you're not afraid to try it, because that's the goal here, is don't be afraid of doing it. It's just paper, it's just glue, it's just string. You can use twine, you can get a bookbinding kit and use wax thread if you want. These journals are only going to be used for, they're a monthly journal, so I don't worry too much about it, and then they go sit on a shelf for the rest of their life until I take them out and play with them or show somebody or whatever. So anyway, but I've never had one come apart, not even think about it. So I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.